The rules of civil procedure allow a defendant to seek a bill of particulars when a complaint lacks sufficient details. The defendant must identify defects complained of and the details desired. The notice and demand do just that. The complaint is incredibly vague, as identified by Queen Bee in her notice and demand. Bullhorn fails to explain how there is sufficient specificity. That is likely because she cannot do so. That is likely because it is. That is likely because it is, at least in part, either lifted from, drafted by, or helped draft by her colleague, Jonathan Lee Riches. So here's the side-by-side. First, Betty's complaint. Defendants run multiple YouTube channels and have repeatedly published defamatory statements about plaintiff on her Queen Bee channel. Here's Jonathan's. Defendant runs multiple YouTube channels and has repeatedly published defamatory statements about plaintiff on his channels. Betty's complaint. Defendants have published numerous false and defamatory statements about plaintiff, accusing her of criminal activity, falsely portraying her work as a journalist, and attempting to humiliate and damage her reputation in the eyes of her subscribers and the public. Here's Jonathan's. Defendants have published numerous false and defamatory statements about plaintiff, accusing him of criminal activity, falsely portraying his work as a journalist, and attempting to humiliate and damage his reputation in the eyes of his subscribers and the public. My goodness. Here's Betty's. Defendants accuse plaintiff of stalking, harassing, and pretending to report and troll so she can make money of unwitting people. My goodness, right down to the typos even. Here's Jonathan's. Defendant accused plaintiff of stalking, harassing, and pretending to report and troll so he can make money of unwitting people. I just caught that now. It's the same, right? Not only is it the same word for word, and you know how you know? Because the mistakes are the same word for word. Oh my God, Betty, you're an idiot. You are an absolute glittering idiot. Here's Betty's. Defendants defame plaintiff by referring to her as a tragedy pimp, as defendant knowingly and falsely stated as fact that plaintiff does not actually look for missing people and that plaintiff only harasses and breaks the law. What's the problem? Here's Jonathan's. Defendant defamed plaintiff by referring to him as a tragedy pimp, and he knowingly and falsely stated as fact that plaintiff does not actually look for missing people and that his work is not actually reporting. Oh boy. Examples of exact duplicates or small differences abound in the two filings. And Riches attributes these statements to direct quotes from the defendants in his case. It is highly improbable that Riches' allegations, direct quotes from Riches' defendant, is the exact words that an unidentified defendant, whether Queen Bee or her co-defendant in this case, said. Undersigned has also spoken with counsel for another person that Bullscorn sought a restraining order against, similar to what Bullscorn seeks against Queen Bee here. That counsel conveyed Riches was present at Bullscorn's hearing and video recorded him. That Bullscorn is working with Riches is hardly surprising. But efficiencies Bullhorn might find in working with a man reportedly being the most litigious man in the world do not excuse pleading standards. And Betty, that's how a real legal professional shades your ass and shows you for the fool you are.